Hi and welcome to Gnomeville by Mason Brand. In this video I'm going to show you how to make gnome shoes. So the ingredients, the supplies used to make these shoes can all be purchased at the Dollar Tree. That's not where I got everything, but I did realize that they absolutely can be. Okay, so you're going to start by having a taller cup. So essentially you're going to have one side of the shoe that's higher than the other. So this first picture is showing you what you can use for the higher end. This can come in different variations. It is not a one size fits all kind of thing. You can definitely mix it up to meet your own preferences. This cup I have used the mini red Solo cups from the dollar store. Also the little Dixie cups that are actually plastic and not paper. So there's a variety of things you can use, even things that are not cups. So that would be the first piece that you would need. The second piece would be something for the toe side of the shoe. So that would be something like the Easter egg that you see in other videos. So this, for me, I like the side that's the bottom of the egg that's not pointy. And this would be the shorter end of the shoe then. And again, this can be anything. It doesn't have to be this exact shape. It doesn't have to be this exact height. It's just that you're looking for something that is shorter than what you already have to kind of form the front of that shoe. And the Easter egg seems to work pretty well. I would stock up this time of year. Okay. Now the second part or the third part that you're going to need is foam. So the craft foam. And essentially you're just going to take each side of your shoe, so the small cup and the egg, and you're going to push them into the foam so that the circle imprint is made. And this is where you'll be cutting. I would note that it's important not to cross over the circles because you want to make sure that you're getting a full cut. So cutting actually the outside of that imprint so that there's room to place the items that you plan to place in hot glue onto the foam. So then you'll go ahead and cut the foam and it's going to look like a peanut. So it's not two separate circles you're cutting, it is one piece. And then this next piece is actually part of it's called, from the Dollar Tree, it's called yard lawn sticks for balloons. And this is one of the two parts. The other part is the long stick that inserts into this. And this is the piece you're going to be adhering to the bottom of the shoe. And then the stick will come in and connect to the top there. So going on to the next piece then, you can see where the balloon base is. And then I hot glued that to the foam on the wider side of the foam. And then on top of the balloon base, I super glued the cup. Okay, so it's foam, balloon base, and then cup. And then on the smaller side of the foam, I have the Easter egg. Okay, and then just to give you a little bit of a different perspective, I'll put it there for you in a different angle. And so that you have the picture of the actual product. This is the lawn balloon sticks, and that's what the package looks like. And then in that top right picture, I wanted to show how I'm getting the stick through the cup. And essentially you're just pressing down with the glue gun to make a hole, and then using the heat from that nozzle to widen the hole to get it so that you can insert the straw. And that's what you're seeing there in the bottom right is the straw inserted into the base through the cup. Now when I did this, it did crack slightly on some of them, but it didn't have any structural impact. So I would tell you that that's fine. And that really seemed to be more on the Dollar Tree cups like that did that. Other ones I've used have not cracked. And then we're going to see here in the next video where I did fill the shoe. So You know, the weight is oftentimes a good thing to have, because, you know, our gnomes tend to be heavy, top heavy and awkward at times. So the weight here, I just opened up the top of the cup essentially by melting most of it away so I could use garden gravel is what I use in my gnomes. But I just kind of scooped a little bit in there, and then I covered it up with hot glue, and then my base was weighted and sturdy. So then it comes to wrapping the shoe, and I've seen this done a couple different ways, and I'll tell you, this way is not my favorite. So the one video I watched recommended taking the material. First of all, you're taking the material, and you can see there, it's cut a little bit higher than the top of that cup there. So you want to measure the material around the shoe so that you make sure you have enough to get around it, and then make sure it's just high enough that it goes over and you have that space above the top, the highest part of the cup. And in this video that I was trying to follow, it was saying to put the ends of the material up by the foot, by the toe of the shoe. But I didn't like that, because then the seams had to be, you had to be concerned with where they were laying, and that you had both on the inside, and it just didn't lay as nice, I didn't think. So I prefer actually taking the one end of the material, starting at the back of the shoe, and then wrapping it around, gluing as you go at the base. So at the very bottom of the material, and gluing on the base of the shoe, so down where that foam is, and doing a little bit at a time, probably at least, I say a little bit, but probably a third to half of the shoe at a time, and either gluing on the shoe or on the foam, and then stretching it a little bit as you place it, but then also pressing it as you place it, to make sure that it has a nice firm fit. And then just going the whole way around, and then bringing the other end to the back of the shoe around the other side. That's the way that I've seen it, that I like it the best. Here's a picture of once it's all down, not very helpful. Then when you have the material the whole way around, you just want to drop some hot glue on the inside of where the toe is. I usually put it on the material that's standing up, but you can put it down on the actual, I guess that would be the Easter egg side itself. So just put the glue in there, and then I usually just take 2 fingers and press it down, kind of like you're doing a Christmas package, like when you're wrapping. So press that down, and then you're just going to take the 2 sides there then and press them together. And that essentially is how you get that shape up front. So bringing that together and gluing it, I find that it's actually better to glue all the layers in between. So when you pinch that, you're leaving some void space there that doesn't have glue. I like to get some glue in there too, and then glue those 2 pieces together so that it all sticks nice and tight. So depending on the shoe that you're making and how messy you get, there's a couple different things you may need to do. If I do a nice job on my shoes, I don't need to do this step, but then sometimes I absolutely do. So this is where at the end you need to put a new bottom on the base of your shoe, because either it's all messed up or it just doesn't look nice. Maybe the sizing is off. But all you do is take your completed shoe and you trace it on the foam, and make sure that your marker is straight up and down so that you don't get ink on the rest of the shoe. And then you're basically just going to cut it out, and make sure that you're towards the inside of that marking so that you get it nice and tight. But you don't want to make it too small, mind you, because then you'll have gaps. But you're going to go ahead and cut that out, and then put it on the bottom of your shoe. And then you can also take little strips of foam to create a trim as well. So here's with the new foam to make it look nice. Now mind you, if it's standing up or you're doing something else and you don't need to cover that, then you can completely skip that step. Like I said, that's not something I always do. Okay, so then when you have the trim, it looks nice and neat. Again, I start from the back on one side and work my way around to the other. And that's how I get around the shoe with the trim. And this is a example of the two shoes using, on the right hand side is the little baby shower favors, the pink and blue booties from the Dollar Tree that you see a lot of people using. And then on the left is the cup and the Easter egg. So that's just a size comparison. And there's a completed pair of shoes just for you to see. You add your embellishments, and it's definitely very easy to cover up mistakes. So whether you're adding embellishments like this, wherever you need them, I find that adding the moss, the soft moss, especially if the lines at the bottom of the shoe didn't come out nice, that's a nice way to hide your mistakes that way. Example. So, you know, I'm not the neatest person in the world, but yeah, that's how I make up for it. I don't know how to sew either, so there'll be some videos coming up on how to do things without sewing. Okay, and then we have Winter Princess here, and she is wearing the shoes that I made with the leather there. And just another example here. And this was all done with the felt. Much easier, I find, to work with the felt, by the way. And just a very basic pair of shoes, when they're done nice and neat and cleanly, you don't have to do anything else to them. And there's the back. I like to run up a piece of felt where that seam is to make it look more aesthetically pleasing as well. And then, you know, a loop at the top even to give it a little bit of a detail.